welcome to the first Mogul Spotlight. This is the first of a weekly series of video interviews I'm going to be doing throughout my presidency. This week I'm going to be interviewing myself. Two reasons. Firstly, so you can get to know your president a bit better, and secondly, so you can see how this show's going to work. So if you'd like to be on it, you can get a little taster of it from this. Get over to the forum, the presidential forum that is, the best forum there is, and you can put your details down, and if you look good, I might be in contact so you can be on a future one of these shows. On with the interview. So, how long have you been making films for? Well, I think one of the first films I made was with a long-time friend of mine called Chris Rogers. I was around his house and he had this little video camera which you could plug in to a VCR. So it was only really a camera, but then what you did is you plugged it into a VCR and you could record stuff. So this was a long time ago when that was a real good way to record your own videos because it was so expensive to buy video cameras. And I think we did some kind of QVC parody because we thought QVC was hilarious back then. And I still do because it's a load of tacky rubbish. And that's where it all started. What is it that you enjoy about making these films? If you have a look at my films on YouTube, you can see I've done a wide range of strange films, from fake Xbox 360 portables to old black and white style films. I just find it really interesting to try out different ideas, do different things, messing around with people. It's just a really good way to try out lots of different ideas, funny things, serious things. It's just a really good way to have a good time and have a good time with your friends. What was the first camera you had? Well, my first camera was, and is, this one here. It's a, what is it? It's a Sony DCR TVR V18E. Nice, easy to remember name. I only got this recently, actually, from my brother-in-law, because I did him a favour. But before this, the camera I used to use was my brother, Michael Bridger, his camera. He's had that for a good few years now, so we used that before then to do films. So really, I've just kind of scrounged and borrowed equipment to do stuff over the years. I like to save money wherever possible, so I'm kind of reluctant to spend a fortune on a camera. So what kind of camera are you using these days? Well, the camera I have now is that one you just saw, although the camera I'm using to film this is one I've borrowed from work, which is a fancy high-def camera. And I'm going to be showing off this high-def camera in a future President Presents, so you can get an idea of what HD cameras are like, and then think about buying one or nicking one from work, like I've done. What's your favourite film or films? Favourite films? Now this is a difficult one because I got loads. Indiana Jones, of course. Won't go into details, just amazing films. Love them. Enter the Dragon. If you have a look at my films, you can see a lot of them were fighting style films because I just love all this martial arts style stuff. I think most people do. So, great film. Hot Fuzz. I'm also including Shaun of the Dead in this because it's made by the same team, and it's just a great fun film. And this is the reason I like making films, because you can tell the people doing this had a good laugh, and that's what it's about, I think. Explorers, you may not have heard of this, but it's got a young River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke in it. I just like this film because I like to make stuff, and I like the fact that they make something in it. I don't know. It's just a good, fun film. I've loved it since I was a kid. Still a great film, I think. Tron. Now, I've always loved computers and computer graphics, all that kind of thing. So when I first saw Tron as a kid, I was really blown away by what they did with it. And I still think it holds up pretty well today. So if you haven't seen this film and you like computers, or even good films, recommend it. finally, well, I've got the Prestige here, but any film by Chris Nolan, so Memento, Insomnia, Follow In, Batman Begins, any of his films, they're just fantastic films. Always very deep and psychological. Fantastic films, recommended. So how did you find out about Indy Mogul? Well, I first found out about Indy Mogul when I was reading the Make blog, and they had a link to something on Indy Mogul then. So it was only really because of Make that I stumbled across Indy Mogul. I've been subscribing to Make magazine for a while now after I heard about it at a conference I was at, and I really enjoy Make because I like making stuff, and I guess Indy Mogul's similar to that, making films. Would you like to have a career doing films, for a living? I wondered about this sometimes. For a career I work in IT doing internet-y stuff, but I've wondered about what it'd be like to work in film. I don't know. I like doing it for a laugh. I don't know if it would be as much fun doing it seriously, but if an opportunity came up, who knows? I don't know. I don't like to plan ahead too much, just see what happens and take it from there. What's your favourite bit of film you've done so far? Well, the favourite thing I've worked on so far, or the thing I'm most proud of, would be Zombie Report, which is a film we filmed it late last year, and it was the first film I've done which really was planned out, had a storyboard, had all the actors' lines generally planned out up front, and it was the most professional bit of work I've worked on so far. I was really chuffed with it because everybody put in a lot of time and effort to do it, and it all came together really well. We had a fun premiere party, produced a proper DVD of it, and it was just a really good thing to do. So I'm looking forward to our next film where we're going to raise the bar. So tell me about your next big project. I've been thinking about my next project for a while now. Like I was saying about Zombie Report, I was chuffed with what we achieved with that because it was much better quality-wise than anything I've done so far. My next project, I'd like to do something a bit sci-fi perhaps. I was thinking of Stargate crossed with Time Cop kind of thing. Don't want to go into too much detail. That could be kind of fun. Or I'm thinking something a bit more psychological and a bit more dark and foreboding. It's always harder to pull off something serious than it is something a bit silly and comedic, but it might be fun to try. Watch this space. Right, well that pretty much wraps things up. Have you any final words you'd like to say? No. Thanks for the interview. Thanks for your time. And remember, if you'd like to be on this interview show, Mogul Spotlight, then get over to the presidential forums where you can sign up, put your name down, and I might be in contact. See you next time.